This is a true story from 1943. Before Allied troops landed in Sicily, British intelligence had a problem. Sicily was too obvious, so they built a lie around a man who could not speak for himself. The idea did not start in a war room with tanks. It came from the Naval Intelligence Department's 1939 Trout Memo, issued under Admiral John Godfrey's name and commonly linked to Ian Fleming. One suggestion was strange, even by spy standards. Let the enemy find a corpse carrying false plans. In 1943, RAF officer Charles Cholmondeley and Naval Intelligence officer Ewen Montagu turned that idea into Operation Mincemeat. First, they needed a real body. The man was Glyndwr Michael, a Welshman who had died in London. He did not volunteer for this. That matters. British intelligence gave him an invented life. On paper, he became Major William Martin of the Royal Marines. They dressed the identity with tiny details: letters, keys, receipts, ticket stubs, a photograph of a fiancée, and a briefcase chained close enough to look important. The point was not one perfect prop. The point was a whole life, convincing enough that an enemy analyst would stop seeing evidence and start seeing a person. Inside were false documents suggesting that the Allies were aiming for Greece and Sardinia, while Sicily was only a cover story. Then the dead officer was carried to sea. HMS Seraph, a British submarine, brought the sealed container toward the Spanish coast near Huelva. Early on April 30th, 1943, the body was released into the water. Spain was officially neutral, but British planners knew German intelligence had channels there. The hope was brutal and precise. Spanish officials would find the body, open the papers, and copies would reach Germany. That is exactly the kind of gamble Operation Mincemeat was. The briefcase came back to British hands. The documents looked untouched, but tiny signs suggested they had been opened, photographed, and put back. In London, the waiting began. If Germany believed the papers, Sicily might look like a decoy. If Germany ignored them, thousands of Allied troops would still land on the obvious target under heavier defenses. German intelligence took the bait. Attention and forces shifted toward places named in the false plan: Greece, Sardinia, and the Balkans. Sicily stayed on the map, but the lie made it look less like the main blow. The real invasion plan was Operation Husky. It still required ships, soldiers, aircraft, timing, and brutal risk. Mincemeat did not remove the danger. It helped change what the defenders expected. On July 9, 1943, Allied forces began the invasion of Sicily. Operation Mincemeat did not win the war by itself. No honest version of this story should say that. But it helped protect a real invasion by making the truth look fake and the fake plan look urgent. For years, the grave in Huelva carried the invented name, Major William Martin. Decades later, the real man's name, Glyndwr Michael, was added. So remember the date, spring and summer of 1943. Remember why it matters. Deception helped move German attention away from Sicily before a dangerous Allied landing. And remember who was responsible. Godfrey's Naval Intelligence Department and the Trout Memo idea. Fleming's likely hand in that memo. Cholmondeley and Montagu, who built the operation. The crew of HMS Seraph, who delivered it. And Glyndwr Michael, the real man beneath the false name. The man who never was helped carry a war across the tide.